Hello, everyone. Sorry to have held you up a short while. Apologies. We've literally just arrived at the hotel here in Pune, so I apologise for that. Thanks for being with us. We'll start off with Jeremy and Scott from Talk. Jeremy, are you okay to lead when I give you the okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
No dramas. And then, as usual, please, if you can just use the chat facility to indicate if you've got any questions subsequently, if that's okay. Just bear with me. Right. Going. We have Jeremy. When you're ready, mate.
Sure.
Hi, Jeremy.
First of all, to the Jofra Archer news. I mean, how worried are you, and how concerned should you be?
Obviously, it's disappointing for Jofra and disappointing for us. But it's clearly something that we need to get to the bottom of. We'll make sure there's every resource around him that we can get to the bottom of what's going on, and hopefully get him back fighting fit for the future for England.
He's going home and then potentially coming back out for the IPL. But in his long-term interest, would you prefer it if he missed the IPL, maybe, even though it's so important in this World Cup year?
I think first and foremost, we've got to get to the bottom of the problem of what's going on there. Obviously, he's going to miss the early stages of the IPL, but we'll be led by the medics on sort of where we go from there, really. But first and foremost, we'll be making sure that Jofra's okay.
Just on the ODI squad, then, Joe Root not coming back out to India. Who bats at 3? And is there an argument for Ben Stokes going there?
Well, I mean, it's something that obviously Eoin and myself going to have a talk about tonight, actually. So, I mean, we've got plenty of things to talk through, to have a look at who goes where. Obviously, it'll create opportunities for people as well to potentially bat in different places, and to potentially see one or two sort of fresh faces in there. So, yeah, I mean, for me, I see that as an opportunity. Obviously, Joe's not with us. I mean, he's a fine one-day player, as we all know. But it was a good opportunity to give him a break as well, having been in the bubble for so long through the Test series.
Do you think it might be a good spot, though, for Ben Stokes?
Potentially, like I said, Owen and I are going to speak about that tonight once I've finished talking to you guys.
Okay. I mean, looking at the ODI series, Chris, is it effectively now a consolation prize where you have to give some game time to some guys who've been in India but not been playing, like Billings, Topley, Liam Livingston and Mo and Parkinson?
Yeah, I mean, it's not okay. I mean, to me, it's not a consolation prize. Obviously, we want to win everything. We are defending world champions, so we want to make sure that we go out there and we put a good showing for us. The World Cup is here in 2023 as well. So again, it's a great opportunity for us to see conditions to play out here and get players' experience under the belt.
What's your reflections on the T20 series? England won 4 of the 5 tosses. They were at full strength, but still lost. Was it a reality check, do you think, before the World Cup?
Well, I think, again, I see it as a good experience for the players to be out here and taking in what the conditions are. Obviously disappointed to lose. Obviously we never like losing. We go into every game wanting to win. But it is a difficult place to come and win. And to be fair, India played very well as well at times. So we've got to respect that. But we'll certainly be wiser for it. Coming back here for the World Cup, the players will have experienced how things are, the conditions, the wickets. Again, experienced how to bowl on these wickets and how to bat and what works and what doesn't. So, like I said, disappointed to sort of lose the series, but at the same time, excited about what's in front of us. And obviously, we'll be a lot wiser for the experience now.
Thanks a lot, Chris. Cheers.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Scott Taylor, please.
Hey, Chris. We saw in the recent T20 series that there was only one change throughout the series, and that was enforced with Mark's heel injury. How hard was it finding that balance between playing your strongest 11, probably for the last time before the World Cup, but also trying to give the squad players an opportunity to play in India before that World Cup?
Well, I mean, one of the things we looked at really was, trying to get a little bit of role clarity in there as well. Obviously, we kept turning up and expecting the wickets to potentially turn as well, hence naming 12 players over time. But the wickets were firm and good wickets from what we saw. So hence, obviously very little change in our team. But again, you know what I mean, I think the team that we put out was a very strong team. And we saw at times that, you know what I mean, we controlled the power plays. You know, we won a few of them. Still areas to work on, obviously. But no, I think it was just, you know what I mean, the way that things panned out that we used with fewer players.
There's been a lot of talk about Ben's role in the team, also the T20 lineup. How difficult is it when you've got the array of talent you have in your squad to try and find roles for everybody?
It is difficult because we've got people that can bat anywhere, and sort of for various teams have batted anywhere. But I mean, sort of from Ben's point of view, we see him as a great finisher as well. He's very good at sort of looking at a scoreboard and breaking it down and taking into account what needs to be done at any given point as well. So he reads the game very well. And you need that down the order to try and get us over the line in tight situations. So, you know, I mean, Ben does that fantastically for us.
I'm just looking ahead to the ODIs. I know it's not the T20 format, but how important is it to get that confidence of knowing you can play on a different wickets in a different part of India and still win matches?
Well, I mean, that confidence is always important. You know, I mean, like I said, we'll be looking to win these games and to keep, you know, I mean, keeping a roll as we are. I mean, in the ODIs. And again, you know, I mean, it will provide opportunities for people as well. You know, I mean, from a 14-man squad, but we've got some fresh faces there. So there's potential opportunities for people as well, which is equally as exciting for me.
And Paul Collingwood was saying the other day he's been backing Darrick Milon to return to form. He did so in that fifth T20. But were you surprised with the criticism? And there was some question in his place at number 3. Does that just show the cutthroat nature of international sport?
Well, it can, and we accept that it is at times. But you know, I mean, we all backed Mala to come through and score the runs. You know, I mean, he's a top class player. We've seen that number 1 T20 batsman. You know, I mean, his strike rate is high, and it was only a matter of time when he got used to conditions that there was a score around the corner, and I think that's what we saw yesterday.
Perfect. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
John Etheridge, please.
It's hi. Jofra's been missing games for more than a year now because of the elbow problem. That's a long time with an injury to be hanging around, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it is what it is, John. You know what I mean? It's not technically the same problem, is it? So it's you know what I mean? I think that the important thing here is that we actually get it cleared up. You know what I mean? We get him to see the specialist, and we make sure that we put everything in place for Jofra to, as I've said before, I mean, have a long, successful international career for England in all formats.
Are you concerned at this stage? I mean, it's only sort of 7 or 8 months away before the Ashes team leaves, that his impact might be reduced on that. But you have said, you know, a number of times that high pace is a big part of your strategy to try to beat next winter.
Well, to be honest, I don't want to speculate too much at the moment until we find out exactly what's going on with his elbow. You know, I mean, and we'll make a plan from there alongside the medics. So at this moment in time, I'm pretty chilled out. But like I said, the most important thing for me at the moment is making sure that Jofra sees the right people and we get the right treatment for him.
Okay, just a bit of an explain on Moeen Ali. Obviously, he went home for the last 2 tests, sort of being saved, I suppose, for the T20. The white ball stuff obviously didn't play at all in the T20. Can you give a bit of an explanation for that, really?
Well, I've already mentioned that, John. But yeah, I mean, we turned up expecting the wickets to potentially offer a little bit more spin than they did, and they just didn't. I mean, the wickets that we played on were firm. So we picked the team that would benefit from playing on that wicket, but we thought could win on those wickets. So it's as simple as that, really.
Just down to the pictures, really.
It was literally as simple as that. You know, the wickets were firm, we picked the ball in attack that we thought would best suit that wicket.
Thank you.
Chris Stokes, please.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
It's been reported that when Jofra goes home, I assume he's leaving today, he will have rest and then an injection on into the elbow. Can you confirm that? And also, how many injections is he allowed to have in a year period?
Well, I can't answer how many because I'm not a doctor. So it's, I mean, obviously you'd have to ask the medics about that one. So I wouldn't want to speculate on that either. But yes, you know what I mean? The first part of call, they have talked about having an injection into the elbow.
And I'm guessing you're hopeful surgery won't be something you have to go to this year.
Well, it's not something I'm thinking of at the moment, purely because, you know what I mean, we'll be guided by the medics. And, you know what I mean, we'll see what they come up with, really. So, I mean, touch wood, the injection will sort things out.
Cool. And I'm guessing you have the ultimate confidence in your team medics. Are you confident that, all being well, Jofra will be fit and firing for the World Cup and obviously the Ashes as well afterwards?
Well, obviously, I want Jofra at the World Cup and the Ashes. From my point of view, he's a great performer, and I want him there. And yes, I have every confidence in my medics to make sure that we put the best treatment around him and give him the best chance.
Thanks.
Matt Roller, please.
Hi, Chris. Just wanted to ask about Matt Parkinson. Given he's the only player who will have done the full 3 months, is it safe to assume he'll get an opportunity at some stage in this?
Well, like I say, obviously, Morgs and I are going to talk about the team later on and the various sort of connotations of that. But on Matt Parkinson, I've got nothing but praise for Matt. The way that he's conducted himself, the way that he's trained, and the way that he's got stuck in helping the lads as well. He's been an absolute delight to have on tour. And he's been fantastic while he's been here. But the rest of it, obviously, myself and Morgs will have a chat later.
And just on Liam Livingstone, are you looking at him at the moment as a top order batsman, a middle order batsman, a bowling all rounder? What do you sort of see his role as in this squad?
Well, he's a very talented cricketer, is he? So he could play any of those roles. And obviously, when Morgs and I are going through the team and the way that we structure it together, that will sort of help define his role as well. So,
cheers.
Thank you.
Lizzie Armand, please.
Hi, Chris. Just more generally, do you think that this further indicates that it's just not possible as a fast?
What do you mean with the?
Well, more about fast bowlers and injuries. It's just not possible to do IPL and all 3 formats internationally and play all cricket.
Well, I think as having been a fast bowler, I understand that you play with niggles and you do get injuries. It's as simple as that. It's part and parcel. It's the nature of the beast when you're a fast bowler, and it's difficult anyway. So you could pick up a niggle or an injury at any given point because of the stresses that you put in your body through constantly.
So I guess you've now got quite a balancing act with particularly your bowlers in terms of how much cricket they have before your international summer. You'd obviously want them to have some practice, but not too much. Is that kind of the plan, that they have a bit of preparation before the summer, but not loads?
Well, as we did with the World Cup lead into it, we get on and we have a look at what's in front of them. How we can balance things with them, as you mentioned, and how we get the best prep moving into it, both physically and from obviously a playing workload as well. What we want is people to arrive fresh in body and mind when we get to the big competitions. So, thanks, Liv.
Dean Wilson, please.
Hi, Spoons. I just wondered what the situation was with Chris Woakes, England's Player of the Year last year, hasn't played since September, and is not coming back for 3 ODIs, which I guess he's essentially contracted for. Is everything okay there?
Everything's absolutely fine. It's Woakes is not here because he's having a break. He's spending some time with his family. But both. We talk about sort of Rooty obviously fits in that bracket as well, but Woakes is an outstanding contributor in ODI cricket. We know that. And it's just with the schedule as it is, we have to bust holes for people somewhere, and it's just his time.
And just in terms of mowing, you said that the conditions didn't really suit playing him in India. I would read that as a bit of a fall from grace, in the sense that there was a time when it didn't really matter where you played. He was in the side, even in England, where conditions are not necessarily spin friendly either. So, what does he need to do to convince you that he's worth a place regardless of conditions? And do you anticipate that he could still play a major role in the push for the World Cup next in the?
I do. Mo's a very important member of our squad. And just to be clear, it's not in Indian conditions. It was on those pitches in Ahmedabad that we didn't pick him. So we went down a different avenue on that. So just be very clear on that. It's not all conditions in India we're talking about here. We looked at the pitches and we picked the attack that we believe would be successful or effective on those pitches in Ahmedabad. You know what I mean? But Mo is a very important member of our squad, and I'm sure he's got a big role to play in the future.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, but you know, it doesn't matter what pitch you play on. You wouldn't not play Adil Rashid, for example, or you wouldn't not play Joss Butler. So, you know, what does Mo have to do to get himself back into that position, which I think he was in previously?
Well, we only played one spinner, didn't we? So Rash was that spinner. We played seamers over that. So it's, you know, I mean, Mo's doing everything he can. He's training hard. He's doing everything right. It was just down to a selection issue on Mo's wicket. So I wouldn't breathe anything more into it than that.
And just so far across the winter, you know, it's been quite a long and an arduous one with the bubbles. I mean, how are you faring and kind of bearing up? I mean, what is the impact of this bubble life? I mean, you know, you were in the same ground for a test match, 5 T20s, and, you know, so obviously several players in the same hotel doing the same journey from ground to hotel. And, you know, what is the impact of that? Did we see a bit of an impact of that on the field? You know, how do you see it?
I don't think so, because obviously, you know, I mean, we had a lot of fresh faces in the T20 squad, and with that comes a fresh energy as well. But I mean, it's great to have a change of scenery as well, and you know, I mean, the ODIs to look forward to. You know, I mean, we were in one place for a long time, and if you can imagine, your life is existing between 2 floors of a hotel and a cricket ground. It's great to sort of move on to Pune, look forward to the ODIs, and you know, I mean, stay in a different hotel really, and have a bit of a change of scenery. It just freshens you up as a, you know, I mean, in the mind, and obviously we've got the, like I said, the ODIs to look forward to now.
And just finally for me, is there a chance potentially that Eoin may or may not play in any of these games? I know you said you're going to speak to him after this, but in the past he has cleared space for others to get a go. Any chance of that in this series?
Like I say, I'm not going to say too much now, because I'm going to go speak to Eoin basically straight up to this. So,
okay, thanks, man.
All right, thanks, Dina.
Last of all, Paul Newman, please.
Hi, Chris. Just another quick one on hi. Just another quick one on Jofra. Was it very much, you know, a joint decision for him to take this rest now? You know, we've seen guys be a bit reluctant maybe to miss big chunks of the IPL because of their profile and the money involved. Was he happy about this, or did he have to be told, no, look, you really need to rest again?
No, he's, you know, I mean, it was a joint decision, and you know, I mean, both parties have put England first, basically. You know, I mean, he needs to get this right. He needs some time to do that, so we've made space to make sure that we give him the best chance of being successful for England. And you know, I mean, all parties agreed on that. You know, I mean, and obviously Jofra was very, you know, I mean, very sort of keen on that as well. He was, you know, I mean, he wants to be at the World Cup and he wants to be at the Ashes. You know what I mean? So it wasn't a difficult decision by either side, to be honest. I think it was a sensible decision.
That must be pleasing as well, but he wants to put England first. You know, we the IPL has been an issue this winter for one of your most high-profile players to say, I definitely want to be at the World Cup, I definitely want to be at the Ashes, I'm going to miss this now. It must be quite satisfying. It
is very satisfying. It shows, you know, I mean, it shows how passionate Jofra is about playing for England, how much he enjoys playing for England. You know, I mean, and equally, we respect that and we enjoy having him around. So whatever we can do to help him, we will.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone. Thank you very much indeed. Take care. Speak to you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.